Alright, now as promised, this review is for the follow-up anime, FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, thing to know first off is that with the original FullMetal Alchemist anime, they made it very early on when the manga was starting off, and as a result, it quickly caught up and they wound up making their own story at one point. In truth, after the fight with Greed that Ed had, they made their own story from that point. And while the manga continued long after the anime was finished. So what did they do yet? Well, it's simple. They remade it. Make a new anime based more closely off the manga. In some ways it works, and in other ways it doesn't. But that aside, we also get a new English dub. Now, first off, I should point this out. In the Japanese version, what they did was they recasted the entire crew. While they did keep a few actors and switch them around, only Ed and Al's voices in the original got to reprise their roles. Everyone else was either replaced by a different actor or got their roles swapped with someone else's. Now, of course, the results were mixed. Lots of fans were especially disappointed with the new Roy Mustang. However, good news is the English dub did not do this. Well, sort of. I'll get more to that later. Anyways, let's start with this review, shall we? First off, is the opening left intact or dubbed in English? Well, like the first series, we get the openings and endings left intact if you watch the DVD version, but the TV version does something a little different this time. Rather than only choosing the second and fourth openings to leave intact, they leave all of them intact, but they shorten them significantly. In fact, if you were to watch, you'd know that they're starting the third season right now on TV, after a long hiatus. And, quite honestly, I'm not too thrilled by the way they're handling this one. Cutting out a large chunk of the ending, and, while the opening kind of ends abruptly. But, nonetheless, they are kept, and, like I said, on DVD, full-length versions are available, so, yes. 2, is the background music left intact? Just like the first time, yes! Number 3, free of sloppy or unnecessary edits? Like the first series, we haven't gotten any edits. In fact, I gotta point this out because this is something I gotta applaud Adult Swim for. Yes, I know, I'm actually applauding them for something. Wow. But, they've actually had a few episodes that have been MA rated, something the first series has never had. Originally, every episode was either PG or TV-14. This time, we've had some that are PG, some that are 14, and a few episodes already have been TV MA. So, yes, it is free of unnecessary edits. Number 5, uncut version available to the public in some way. Duh. 6, good voices. As I mentioned earlier, while the Japanese version replaced all the actors, the dub kept as many as they could. Now, sadly, there have been a few replacements made. The most sad one is probably Aaron being replaced with Maxie Whitehead as Al. And let's be honest, we all miss Aaron, but we also realize that Aaron can no longer voice Alphonse. And sadly, they have yet to dub the episode, or we haven't gotten that episode yet, that has young Hohenheim, but I'm looking forward to that episode. Because I really do want to hear Aaron's performance as young Hohenheim, so let's look forward to that. But nonetheless, Aaron was replaced, Damian Clark, who played Scar, was also replaced, and a few other characters here and there. However, I also gotta point out that among other things, majority of the cast was able to come back, something the Japanese version cannot claim. And if you don't believe me, think about this. Vic Mignogna is still Ed. Caitlin Glass is still Winry. Travis Willingham is still Roy Mustang. And, Chris Sabat is still Armstrong. Sony Strait is still Hughes. I don't think I even need to continue because you get the idea. Yes, very good voices. Number 7, script handled well and free of obnoxious jokes added in excessively bad translations and otherwise unwanted rewrites? I would have to say yes to this one because, like the first series, the script is dead on accurate. 8. All episodes dubbed, aired, and released to the public so far. No episodes skipped, merged, or otherwise missing. Now, of course, so far we have not finished the anime, though from what Vic Mignogna said at Youmacon, which is that they're a few episodes away from finishing, that was several months ago, I would guess that at this point they've probably dubbed all the episodes, and so far there hasn't been any skipped yet, so I'm gonna have to give them this one, yes. But if this changes by the end of the series, I will come back and revise this. 9. Free of name changes. Yes. 10. Overall, is it watchable? I would say yes, it is. Or at least as watchable as the Japanese version. I'll admit it, the first few episodes, like up to 14, were pretty weak. But in all truth, later on, the show gets very good, and in truth, I really look forward to hearing the English dub for the upcoming episodes, which are already starting to be released, both on DVD and on TV. So I'm gonna give them a yes. Once again, Funimation, your FullMetal Alchemist dub has gotten a perfect 10 out of 10. You should be very proud of yourselves, and much like the first series, I would also argue that this dub is possibly better than the original, but for a different reason than the first series. The reason here, and I'm sure you could probably guess, is because of the voices. Japanese version kinda disappointed a lot of people with their replacements. I don't think anyone was happy with Roy Mustang's replacement, but in the dub we can't really complain about it as much, other than maybe Aaron, which, by the way, I know I was a bit harsh about that earlier, but I gotta point this out. Maxie Whitehead does a pretty damn good job. She's not quite as great as Aaron, but she's pretty close. In truth, Vic Mignogna said it best. Sometimes he's able to hear the audio for Alphonse and think, wait a minute, was that Aaron recording it? In truth, Maxie, you do a pretty good job. And in truth, it's very difficult for you to top Aaron's performance, but you managed to go pretty close. And the other replacements are, for the most part, difficult to notice if at all present. So in truth, I gotta say this. The dub actually wins this one because, well, for not replacing the shit out of everyone. Good job, Funimation. You have done great once more.